Actually, Darnell Lattal was responsible for this, and she's the one who's been pushing this, for a long time. But we all, contributed to it, and I certainly have had it sort of as a dream to be able to do more than just teach the basics, but to go into depth in terms of the research and what the field has to offer, and do it in a way that the average person can understand it without all the jargon and the science and so on. We're always having customers say, what's next, what's more? And I think that one of the things we want to provide in the Institute is more depth, in-depth stuff, rather than just the basic ideas behind the science and what is discovered, but to go as deep as they want to. And we've got the resources, I think, to be able to do that.
I was quite excited about it, and I was quite excited about it because I think it's a great way to disseminate behavior analysis broadly. The Institute does several things, I think, that are interesting. It has the opportunity, of course, to bring behavior analysis to outside of the behavior analytic field and to other people in the culture, both in the business world, and also to other people that might be interested in behavior analysis. And particularly with the museum, I think, the opportunities to enrich the field of behavior analysis are really exciting.
Andy might not say this, but he's probably got the best museum in the field. I mean, he's collected over the years many pieces of equipment, artifacts and so on about the science that I think is going to be a real contribution that we can make in terms of preserving some of the history of the science and being able to show people where this came from. It didn't come just out of somebody's head, but it's been the product of a lot of research. And Andy has a particularly good way of writing about this, the equipment, but all the concepts, in a way that are very understandable. I wish I could write as well.
Well, the museum offers offers the possibility of exploring some of these items in depth. So the museum doesn't just present an item, but it puts it into a context for people.
Yeah.
And it also, it allows us to show the creativity of researchers as well as the precision of research. Yeah. And it also ties back in with the other elements in the Institute, because we have a section that is designed to kind of inform people about or give our perspective on things that are going on in society more generally. And also another section of the Institute is going to be concerned with developing some of the concepts that have been studied using the apparatus that's shown in the museum. And we'll be talking about some of the implications of those concepts in everyday life.
Right. Well, Behavior Watch is an idea I've had for many, many years, and that is if we're out to change the way the world works, then we want to see the concepts, the terms in the media as an example of how well it's being spread, to the population at large. And we see already more and more examples of where people are using, for example, the concept of positive reinforcement. Unfortunately, much of the time it's used inappropriately. And so I hope that by people coming to the Institute and seeing the kinds of things we have there, they'll understand more precisely what it's really about, because we know how effective it is when it's applied properly. And most of the criticism about the field is that people that have applied it poorly. And so we want to, be able to give some depth to their understanding and application.
Well, From the Field is going to take some of the basic concepts, including reinforcement, but not limited to reinforcement, so concepts that are a general part of how we assess evidence for things and how we know, which is a topic that Aubrey has been talking about just recently, and looking at them in a little more depth with some examples and some practical kinds of applications, but also developing how the concepts came to be as they are now.
The way we hope people will interact with the site is that first they'll read and look and see what we've got, but that would simulate questions, comments that would help us know better how to manage the site, number one, and the kinds of things that are problematic to people that we can in fact bring research to bear on them. But we want it to change behavior. In other words, they want to do something that they otherwise wouldn't do had they not visited the site.
Yeah, I agree. I would hope that people will read this and become interested enough to maybe make a comment or ask a question. There are many opportunities within the site to interact with us and with other people, and with the subject matter of behavior analysis.
Although the site is focused on the workplace, what we've discovered is that many times people, before they apply the concept at work, actually apply it at home. So it's very hard for us to separate the workplace from home because, you know, if you learn something that's worked at work, then you certainly want to do that with your family and your friends and so on. So we hope that we obviously will have things that relate to life in general, but the focus is still going to be about workplace applications.
I think we would also like for students to be able to use the site. And there are many ways that students can interact with the material. There's the whole museum is a great opportunity to learn about the history of behavior analysis, and as well some of the ways that behavior analysts go about conducting research. The section, both the Behavior Watch and the section on conceptual and going into more depth in behavior analytic questions is also a place where particularly beginning students, but also advanced students can, I think, profit from a visit, multiple visits to the Institute's website.
Well, I think, you know, one thing, talking about students, is that we should be able, with the museum and what people are able to read, is to see, correct some of the misconceptions that are out there about the field. Andy has quite a collection of Skinner's air cribs, which have certainly been abused by psychology professors as well as people in
the most abused instrument in the history of behavior analysis, probably.
And to understand what it really was, what it really happened, and I hope that we'll be able to, in some sense, humanize behavior analysis in ways that it hasn't been done by the popular press.
I think that's a great term, humanizing behavior analysis.
Yeah, right, there you go.
I think that's a lot of what
it's about humans.
What we're trying to do with the whole institute.
Yeah.